Shalom, giving all honor, all praise, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rechak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations unto the tabernacle of David, the hopeful elect, scattered abroad across the four winds of the earth. I don't even know what the title of this one, but this is another cautionary tale. When it comes to these women, you've got to be real careful, especially in these last days. You got women out there that are, opportunists, and they'll really literally play with your life. So that's why, you don't choose a woman just solely off of her beauty. You got to vet them. And this dude, he had to find out the hard way. And the scriptures say what it say, which we're going to get into plenty of scriptures dealing with this. But, I'm going to definitely play this clip so you can learn the backstory to it. Definitely led to a tragic end. And I'll say, Jake, hey, though I wouldn't condone it in this society, what he done, but it was very understandable. All right. In a righteous society, it would definitely be justified. Jake thought he had him a Gucci man wife, but he basically held a scorpion. She got him for everything that he got. And, we know what the Bible say. King Solomon said it. He had a harem of 1,000 women. And he said he find more bitter than death the woman whose hearts is snares and nets and their hands is as bands. Let a sinner fall upon her. But whosoever shall please the Lord shall escape from her. So we're going to listen to this narration of this, the backstory to this whole tragic situation. All right. And we're going to get some scriptures. I'm not going to make this long.
When Armand got sent to prison, he made a decision that would ultimately seal both their fates. He trusted Tiffany with everything: properties, businesses, investments.
He said he trusted her with everything. See, what we have today is the opposite of virtue. You're not going to find any virtuous woman on this side. Especially Eve. She's far gone. All right. The Bible tells you in the description of a virtuous woman is that, she's someone that you can actually trust. She won't do you any harm all her days. Let's go there real quick. This is Proverbs 31 and verse, I'll start at 10. It says, "Who can find a virtuous and capable wife? She is more precious than rubies. Her husband can trust her, and she will greatly enrich his life." Obviously, when we hear about this woman, she definitely couldn't do that for him. I don't know what he did to wind up in prison, but he seemed to have something going on, prior to his incarceration. And he wanted to trust her. He did trust her with, handling, their household affairs and business affairs and whatnot, household duties, basically his empire. But obviously, she's just like the rest of them out there. They'll get you for everything and move on to the next. These women don't love these men. They conquer you and then they move on. They get what they can get out of you and they out. That's just simply what it is. Everything nowadays is transactional. You know, you do this for me, I do this for you. There's no true love, respect, cooperation. But what, according to this description in the Proverbs, all right, wise Proverbs, if you're virtuous, your man should be able to trust you in everything. All right. And he should be able to, feel encouraged and comfortable when he has you. It's a scripture in Apocrypha that says that a woman that, loves her husband and does good by him, it's like it fattens his bones. Meaning he's he's more strengthened. He's healthy. But you become more drained dealing with these modern women, primarily the so-called B-dub, the Keishas. This is why brothers and the apostles always say, hey, man, stay away. Unless you got a rare one, there's a few out there. You got some sisters that are, trying to, transition. But majority of our women out there right now, it's best to just, leave them be. It says, verse 12, she brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. And that's, if you have a decent or virtuous woman. She's not going to be vengeful. She's not going to try to, go tit for tat. I don't like you did this to me, so I'm going to do this to you when you're not paying attention. Rendering evil for evil. No, she's no matter what, no matter how she feels, she's not going to do you any harm. She's not going to go behind you and do something that's going to, mentally wound you. But you got a lot of broken men because they get with these women only looking at them on a surface level. They don't pay attention to the red flags or character or mentality or nothing. They just blinded by the artificial beauty or the superficial beauty. And that was the mistake that this Jake made. She don't even look all that. She look all right. But I'm gonna play this so you can further hear. All right, this whole, you're gonna hear the build up to what pushed Jake over the edge. All right, you hear the whole story. It was just fucked up, But this is another lesson learned for you men out there. You want to talk about this red pill energy, this whole manosphere, man. There's nothing more red pill than the scriptures. So anyway, let's finish this out.
His entire financial portfolio went into her name while he served his time behind bars. And what did Tiffany do with that trust? She took every single dollar and built herself a whole new life. The social media posts started flowing like water. Designer bags worth more than most people's cars.
Got him for everything. She wrung him out, man. Drained him. There's a lot of wisdom in the scriptures, man. You learn these things and you'll know how to, see things for what it is in his life and in his world. Sirach 25. Where is it at? It might be the next chapter. Let me go. No, actually, no. Sirach, the 9th chapter. That's where I meant to go. Yep. Sirach 9, And I'm going to read the third verse because that's important too. It says, meet not with an harlot, lest thou fall into her snares. Because like it says in Ecclesiastes 7, her hearts is snares. It's a trap, man. She thinking about how she can conquer you. You know, because they looking for a come up. They looking for the finesse. And if they see you as a sucker, you know, a simp, she knows she got you. And let that simp have, you know, financial security, substance. She gonna get you. Cause she's so scandalous. Remember that? Y'all remember that song on All Eyes on Me, Scandalous? She's so scandalous, man. Her hearts is snares and nets. All right. Hey, she was more than likely a hoe that found her simp, and he fell right into her snare. You know, any other regular dude, she ain't giving him the time of day. She's targeting these type of dudes. These chicks that be like, oh, he got to make 6 figures or more. You know, he got to be, you know, he got to be intelligent, but he got to be hood too. Hey, they looking for you type jakes. Got a lot of endeavors and whatever. You got a lot going on. That turns these females on. Then once you know, fall for them, then there it is. She gets you. Because that same woman wouldn't have paid attention to you, you know, if you was working a regular 9 to 5, you know, blue collar, you know, or even if you was, you know, if you was, you know, doing city jobs, if you was working, you know, hands-on jobs, physical labor jobs, she wouldn't have cared because they more so into the D-boy, the finesser, the scammer. All these dudes that got the mentality of, you know, getting rich quick, fast money. You really make yourself the target. And it tells you that in the scriptures how men like that, you know, they'll fall into a world of sin and gain and create an empire just to please a woman. Second Ezra, not Second Ezra, I believe it's First Ezra. The 4th chapter is dealing with the three most powerful things. You know, one of the arguments is the king, the other is a strong drink, and the other was women. All right, Zerubbabel, he's breaking it down, and then the most powerful of all is the truth, in which a lot of people in this day and age are offended at. They hate the truth. And the truth is perish is you know, when you speak it, you make yourself a prey. But anyway, 1 Ezra 4, and I'm gonna start at verse 22. It says, by this also you must know that women have dominion over you. Do you not labor and toil and give and bring all to the woman? And he ended up in prison, so who he could have passed it down to? This man had a wife that he thought he can trust. So he thought that maybe she'd be able to handle it and manage everything while he's locked down. And then maybe when he get out, he can come to, you know, what he built for himself. But that ain't happened. She cleared him out. Took it and you know, she used it for herself. It says, yeah, a man taketh a sword and goeth his way to rob and to steal. You know, because you got men out there that'll, in a life of crime, you know, go get it the illegal way, the fast way, the ski mask way, as Jake put it, and they get all that money and come up just so that they can, you know, please this little hood bitch. with the fat behind, with tattoos, you know, with the colored dye hair in her weave. It says to sail upon the sea and upon rivers. And this chick, she didn't been around the block. They don't even do this for a virgin, a used up skank. And looketh upon a lion and goeth in the darkness. And when he has stolen, spoiled, and robbed, meaning he went and robbed and did all that sticking up in all type of perilous circumstances, you know, risking your life. He bringeth it to his love. Wherefore a man loveth his wife better than father or mother. Yet many there be that have run out of their wits, you know, their head, their reason, you know, just lose their mind. It says for women, and have become servants for their sakes. Many also have perished, have erred, and sinned for women. And men been falling since the beginning, going back to Adam. Hell, Solomon, because of his experience, he dealt with 1,000 of them. He would agree with this, because he erred and sinned over women. So, yeah, man. But let's continue this out.
Luxury vehicles, exotic vacations, business after business opening up under her name. Tiffany wasn't just spending his money. She was bragging about it online.
See? Let me go to that in Sirach 9 in verse 6. It says, give not thy soul unto harlots, that thou lose not thine inheritance. And I believe there's one also that says, I think it's back in Proverbs 31 at the, like, maybe the second, third verse. Proverbs 31 and 3, it says, give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings. That was one of them. And this was King Lemuel's mother. And she did not lie to him. She spoke facts. Sirach 9 and 2 again, it says, give not thy soul unto a woman to set her foot upon thy substance. And that was the mistake he made. All right, thinking that he can trust her. And yeah, she set her foot on his substance, all right. And she kicked it over while he was locked away. And now it's her substance. Well, it became her substance. All right, and it was no longer his. And by the time, I'm going to let it play so y'all can finish hearing. She did him bad.
Like she was some self-made success story. But here's the kicker. She didn't just take his money and disappear quietly. She blocked him on social media, divorced him while he was still locked up, and got herself a whole new man. All while continuing to profit off the empire he had built.
Ooh-wee, man. His life was just disposable. She could care less. She didn't care how she did him. She didn't care if she hurt him. That's, man. Sirach 25 in verse 13, it says, give me any plague but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. Verse 19, it says, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. And for that to have went down, for a woman like this to be given to him, and him falling in love and trusting her, that means he wasn't right. This was, water seeks its own level. So obviously he had to have been a wicked man for a woman like this to be given to him. All right. So this was just overall just bad. Okay. But I still don't blame him for what he ended up doing. But this is something to learn from. It says, verse 19, all wickedness but little to the wickedness of a woman, let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. All right. And then also verse 21, stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure. Yeah, because favor is deceitful and beauty is vain. You know, that's the way she can lure you in. She could seduce you and trap you with her beauty. That's why she puts so much emphasis on her external, her outward, the flesh, the surface. And then she knows that has a biological clock to it. So they're going to get you while they're young and in shape and in their prime. But you realize with a lot of them, there's nothing more else to them. You know, while they expect you to, give them everything. And you got to come with the whole package list. You better be over 6 feet. You better be, you better be in shape. You better have charisma. You better be funny, humorous. You better make 6 figures or more. You better be a hothead and sweet at the same time. You gotta be the bad boy and the nice guy at the same time. It says if a woman, it's like a woman if she maintain her husband and she had to maintain him being behind bars. So you can already know where it was gonna go. Because a lot of these women, they don't come on now. What Papoose did for Remy Ma, these women ain't finna do for no man. You crazy? Once you in behind them bars, she's gone. Somebody's in them guts, man. Let's just say it how it should. Tell it like it is, man. She while you behind them bars, somebody's between them, somebody's behind her. All right? Somebody behind those buns. So she had to, basically put up with him being incarcerated. And even though he left everything for her to handle, and she still had substance while he was locked away, that didn't mean nothing. She had to get away from that dude. It says it's full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. A wicked woman abateth the courage, maketh a heavy countenance and a wounded heart. And that's what she caused him. All right, that was a wounded heart, and it pushed him over the edge. When he got out and he learned what she did, sheesh. It says a woman that will not comfort her husband in distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees. Yeah. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. So you get to see it, Let's finish this.
He told her to give him back what was his and move on with her life. But Tiffany had gotten too comfortable with the lifestyle his money provided. She wasn't giving up anything. Meanwhile, Armand was getting more desperate and more dangerous. He had been released from prison with nothing. No money, no property, no business to return to. The woman who was supposed to hold everything down for him had left him completely broken. And every day, he had to watch her celebrate the life she had built by destroying his. The threats started coming through third.
And she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. She had no idea while she was in all that pleasure, stealing from was supposed to be her head. You steal from your own husband. Man, she didn't realize that she was a dead woman while she was, out there, buying all those Chanel bags and, luxurious brand purses and clothes, going out on vacays and stunting for the gram, social media, probably telling other chicks get on her level and all this other stuff. She had no idea. I just gotta say, hey, good that what transpired. That was good. That was a good ending. That's why the scriptures say, "Envy not the glory of a sinner, for you know not what their end shall be."
Third parties. People who knew both Armand and Tiffany were trying to warn her that she was pushing a dangerous man to his absolute limit. But Tiffany wasn't backing down. If anything, she seemed to be enjoying the power she held over him. She had everything. He had nothing. And she was making sure he knew it every single day. Audio recordings surfaced of Armand completely losing his mind, and these messages revealed just how far over the edge this situation had pushed him.
I snap on him because I look at you different. Why the f*** you worry about my baby mom? I don't give a... Yo, if you ever was to talk to her, she'll tell you that.
I would never talk to that bitch. That bitch ain't on my level. She ain't the fuck nothing to me, and she never been in my circle. She never been around me. I didn't know that bitch.
And you've been bringing it up. So now I'm gonna give you what you want. To touch you again, I'm never physically gonna hurt you. You married this, I'm blowing this head off on everything I love. I'm going back to prison.
Prison didn't scare him anymore because she had already taken everything that mattered.
Yeah, when you have nothing left, when you have nothing left to lose, you lose it. This is a wounded heart, man. She pretty much broke him. What much else is there to live for? You didn't spend time behind bars. She took everything you worked for, and then she brought it to another man. Like, what do you do with that? In a situation like that. But, obviously, of course, and it's truth, you learn to put everything in the Most High's hands, so, you just leave matters to the Heavenly Father like Yahweh Shai did. Because the Most High is just, man, and he don't let sinners escape. Whatever wrongdoing they do, they receive for it. Like it says in Job 4:7, whoever perish being innocent, and where would a righteous cut off? They that plow wickedness and sow, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. So I'm pretty sure nobody feel for this bitch. All right, this Keisha here, but she pushed him. So let's hear the ending.
But Tiffany kept pushing. More posts, more celebrations, more flaunting of the wealth she had stolen.
Yep, and pride goes before destruction, and a haughty look before a fall. She didn't realize that it was about to be the end of all that shit. All that was about to come to an end. She was stupid and blinded.
She was playing Russian roulette with a loaded gun, and everyone around her could see it except her. October 7th, 2023. A regular Thursday afternoon in Philadelphia. Tiffany decides to take her son to get his haircut at a barbershop on the 2500 block of West Lehigh Avenue. Just another routine day in what she thought was her perfectly constructed new life. What Tiffany didn't know was that Armand had been tracking her movements. He knew her routines, knew where she would be, knew when she would be vulnerable. And on this day, he had made his decision. Around 1:45 p.m., witnesses inside the barbershop noticed a man walk through the front door. The atmosphere immediately changed. You could feel the tension in the air as Armand Hilton stepped into the shop, his eyes scanning the room until they landed on Tiffany. She was sitting there with her son, just waiting for a haircut. A normal moment in what she thought was a normal day. But the moment she saw Armand, she knew her past had finally caught up with her. Witnesses later described seeing Tiffany try to shield her son as Armand approached. She knew what was coming. Armand pulled out a gun in front of a barbershop.
Damn it. Thought I was going to play more, but basically, I mean, if you can, off of, what was last said, you can only extrapolate what happened. He blew her noodles all over that barbershop right in front of their child. The man, he was gone, He was over the edge. So ultimately, a spirit of vengeance got on him. And ultimately, it was the Lord that put the spirit on him. Sirach 39 and 28, it says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sword strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. So, I mean, Jake was justified, but also it appeased the wrath of the Most High, because the Most High was angry with this skank. It was that day and time. All right. The Lord got to hit that dude's steps, knew where she would be, and the rest was it was her fate. Fire and hell and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance, teeth of wild beasts, and scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. So good for her, man. She got what she got. All right. She had it coming to her. Yeah, that was straight evil. All right, let me get Sirach 7:1 that says, do no evil, so shall no harm, so shall no harm come unto thee. All right. And she had that attitude like she didn't think anything would happen. Like money is not going to buy you security from judgment. It don't work that way. But she was blinded by that pleasure, that decadence. Sirach 5 and 4, and it says, I'll start at 1 actually, because she started to have that mindset. She was trusting in the wealth that she stole. All right, she had her heart set upon it, that she didn't care about nothing else. Sirach 5:1, it says, set thy heart upon thy goods, and say not, I have enough of my life. Follow not thine own mind and thy strength to walk in the ways of thy heart. And say not, who shall control me from my works? For the Lord will surely revenge thy pride. And she had hella pride. And he revenged her through her husband. Say not, I have sinned, and what harm have happened unto me? For the Lord is long suffering, and he will in no wise let thee go. And he didn't let her ass go. So tragic situation, but it's definitely another learning lesson, even with these stories that occur. And Jake is under the curse, man. So Jake can't catch a break. And them evil eyes is constantly activating. The wife of thy bosom, her eyes shall be evil, towards her husband of her bosom, and vice versa, man. Basically, we just need the kingdom. We got to get up out of here. And once we're up out of here, the Lord's going to, take that spirit of which the Bible calls it in the book of 2nd Ezra, the evil root of malignity, or when you read it in the GNT, I believe it is talking about the evil impulse, basically having that stony heart. When the Lord takes away that stony heart to give us the heart of flesh, we're going to be different. The Lord going to take away all evil from Israel, so you're not going to worry about, wicked, evil women scheming and plotting on you. And you're going to have wives that love their husbands. All right. husbands that's gonna love their wives. All right, everything's gonna be in his rightful place because everything is totally out of order. And everything that she did, noticed she was able to get away with it. So basically, a woman doing that to a man in this society, it's okay. It's basically not illegal for her to do what she's done. You know, if a woman commit adultery, whatever she do, it's like she's above the law. Because why did they, why would a society allow something like this to happen? That's how you know this is a wicked ass place. Or something would have been done. He had to lose it all, and then lose himself just to get justice. Anyway, I'm going to end off on that, man. I'm going to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh Shem Shai. And to the next lesson, Shalom.